pack a lot of sophistication, and they make great additions to savory dishes. With so many varieties to choose from, you can really get creative with this juicy fruit. Today we're making a pear and ricotta crostini with an orange syrup, along with roasted chicken with pears. Let's get to it. First, we'll need to make our orange syrup. It's really simple. It's just equal parts sugar, orange juice, and water. Give that a good whisk. And to add a little bit of tang, I'll also throw in some orange zest. Gives it a nice fresh flavor when we're using orange juice. Okay, so while our syrup is reducing, we'll get our bread cut for our crostini. I like to use a rustic style bread. French bread is also great. And we'll just cut it at a slant here. So we're using Bartlett pears here, which is your typical lunchbox pear. It's firm, it's got a nice crisp, fruity flavor, and it's perfect for pairing with our softer ricotta cheese and our tangier orange glaze. So our bread slices are good to go. We'll hit it with a little olive oil, also a nice fruity note to go with those pears. And we'll let that toast in the oven for just a few minutes. We just want a nice crisp golden brown effect. Now let's get the star of this dish set up. We've got our Bartlett pears right here. Gorgeous, juicy. I'm just gonna core them. Then we'll cut them into nice thin slices for our crostini. So let's check on our bread. Should be nice and toasted by now. Oh yeah, these look perfect. Nice and toasty, the olive oil doesn't hurt. We'll set them right on our serving dish. Now we can start putting these together. We've got our whole milk ricotta. Top of the ricotta goes our pear. Just fan them out. And now for my favorite part of this crostini, besides the pears of course, our homemade orange syrup. Now you want to be pretty generous with this because once you try it, you're going to want more. So we have chopped pistachios. For a bright flavor and color, basil. And there's our gorgeous appetizer, a pear and ricotta crostini with homemade orange syrup. Now let's get ready for our next dish using Anjou pears, something a little different for the palate. For this dish, I'm using Anjou pears. Reason being, they're much firmer and tangier than the Bartlett type, so they'll really stand up to the baking process and to the chicken. So first we need to make our dressing. And now we can get started on our vegetables and our pears. So I've got mushrooms here, just cut them in half and throw them in. And for our pears, I'll just core them and then throw them in there at about this size. Now I've already parboiled these fingerling potatoes, which is key because if you put them in raw, they actually won't be done by the time your chicken is done. So for these, just split them in half. They'll roast nicely. And with chicken, I almost always have to have onion, so we're also going to put some onion in there. For the onion, I'll slice it a little bit thinner than usual when roasting because I actually want them to caramelize, get a little sweeter. So nice thin slices like this will work. And give them a nice toss in the dressing. With all these ingredients dressed, they can go onto our roasting pan. Dump them on there. And of course, we can't forget about our chicken. Chicken goes into the same dressing. We'll hit these with a little more olive oil and salt. You always want your chicken well seasoned. Give these a nice workaround, pick up some of that dressing. And before this heads into the oven, one more key ingredient, garlic. So instead of peeling and chopping the garlic, which would get burned when it's roasting, I'll actually just smash it and throw it in there for aroma. And into the oven they go at 400 degrees for about 40 minutes or until these guys are cooked through. The kitchen smells good, so you know our roasted chicken and pears are ready. And that what you call a perfect pairing. All the flavors have melded together. The paprika has given everything a really warm color. And the Anjou pears, because they're much firmer than other varieties, they've kept their shape during this roasting process. We've got two impressive dishes that show you just how sophisticated pears can be. With our roasted chicken and pears, I've added a little bit of arugula to give it a fresh kick, but also let the pepperiness of the arugula play with the freshness and the sweetness of the pears. And of course, here's our party perfect appetizer, pear and ricotta crostini with an orange syrup. Now you know pears are much more than just a lunchtime snack.